Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Zero BS with Steven and Jess, with yours truly, Jessica and Steven. Steven, how are we?
Good. Every episode we pretend that we weren't chatting for a fucking an hour and a half before we jump on.
I will also pretend that there wasn't tech difficulties yesterday for about an hour when we did try to record.
Oh yeah. Yesterday, myself and Jess, we went to record an episode and I was blaming Jess for her Wi-Fi. Pointing the finger as usual, and then when we finished up and we left this, I found that the Wi-Fi was not actually on or working in my office. So apologies, yes, but we're here now. We're going to get stuck into a brand new episode, which we are buzzing to do.
Yeah. Okay. So, guys, this week's topic is around social life and environment when chasing your goals as well. So this is probably quite a common thing what people might experience when it comes to their fitness goals, is worrying about social occasions, worrying about, will they actually achieve their goals and how they kind of manage that as well. And I think that's something both Steve and I have experienced and probably do still experience really on a day-to-day basis, I think, as well, because right now in prep, I still, not suffer from it. I'm trying to adjust to it as well. For example, I've been going on, I'll just be totally honest, I've been going on dates for the last few weeks, and I've been trying to go on dates and just be trying to explain to someone, yeah, so I can't really eat, and they're like, what? And they're like, okay, as well. So I'm lucky that the people I've been going on dates with or whatever have been quite understanding of it, but there will be some people out there who may not support you in some ways as well. But that's just going to give you a recent example, how I'm currently just going about it as well. But it's obviously something that a lot of people deal with as well. And Stephen, is you something that you've experienced recently as well?
Yeah, I went to a 30th there in April, and it was the first time I was out in a long time. And again, I drink, let's say 2 or 3 times a year. I'd go out maybe. But it was my good friend's 30th, and I said I don't want to drink to myself because I'd work the next day. And I got there, and again, it's never I don't know what the word is. You're not slagging people that ask you, but you notice that some people are like, why aren't you drinking? Is everything okay? And you just have to understand, when you go for fat loss or whatever, competing or anything like that, you are going to be doing stuff that you're not used to doing. You're going to stop doing stuff that you were doing, and friends and acquaintances may come and go, because when you're doing something for so long, let's say I was just prior to doing fat loss and losing weight, my life was Monday to Friday in a shit job I hated. Friday came, bottle of vodka, pub, club, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, same crack, right? Which had me obviously gaining weight, being unhappy, being insecure, being angry, being not pleasant. And then when I actually went to lose weight, I found that in order for me to get these goals that I want now, I actually do have to stop drinking all the time. I have to stop going out all the time. I have to stop actually partying so much and having so much fun. And you go through kind of a transitional stage where your mates are like, why aren't you coming out anymore? What's going on? Is everything all right? And I just think it's really important that you have to accept that you're going to, I wouldn't say you lose a few friends, but there's going to be some awkward conversations with people, and you might have to say, I don't really do that shit anymore. I can't do it as much because I want to look after myself. So that's how it did affect me. I was 23 or 24 at the time, and again, it was a lifestyle that was quite chaotic, but I was having fun and I was loving it. But obviously inside, I wasn't really happy, and then I had to make a change. But that's how it did affect me. Yeah, you're just going to have some awkward conversations along the way. You're going to have to explain, you shouldn't have to explain yourself in hindsight, but you're going to. You're going to have to say, oh, no, I'm not drinking because I have X, Y, and Z on. I actually don't drink that much anymore. I'm actually training a lot more. But I think it's very important that you will have some people that don't understand, and that you'll have a handful of people like I do that they know the crack by now.
Yeah.
How does it affect you apart from, and it's funny you say that with the dates thing, it's extremely important if you have a partner on that note that they have to understand, because if they don't understand, it's going to get in the way.
Yeah. And that's something I was I remember when I kind of started to prep, I was like, oh, do I even continue on going, trying to go on dates because I'm in a new city and whatever. And I'm like, oh, will I just stop dating because I'm doing this prep? And I'm like, no, this I'm not being defined by my prep.
Yeah.
Nobody should ever be defined by fitness. I am an online coach and I do competing, but it doesn't mean that this is my life. Like I am a human outside of it as well. So like, you know, I'm not just like Jessica the coach or Jessica the athlete. I'm like Jessica as well. So I was like, you know what? Like if I meet someone and they're not supportive of my goals, I'm like, it's not someone I want to be with. So why would I want to be with someone who just doesn't support me? Like regardless of how good looking they might be, I'm like, still not worth it. Like you want your environment and how the people you surround yourself with mean everything. Because like, do you know what I mean? The people that are around you should want to support you no matter what. So I remember when Alexa, just for anyone that doesn't know, Alexa's my younger sister, and both her and I compete together in different categories. But when we both knew that we wanted to compete, we were so nervous to tell our parents, because we were like, you know, Catholic, you know, country girls, country girls, you know, our parents would be quite protective of us in a lot of different ways. And that's always the way it's been throughout our life. And we were so nervous of telling them that we were going to do this, because they couldn't understand why we were at the gym all the time. They couldn't understand that. They were just like, this is so weird or whatever. But you know, because particularly for me, because I wouldn't have been that active when I was younger. And then when we told them we were going to compete, you'd swear like we were saying that we were giving them the worst news. We just was petrified. But they were like, if that's what you want to do and you enjoy it, and it's, you know, it's obviously like, you know, we're not doing anything harmful to ourselves, go for it. And they were completely supportive of it. And we were like, fuck, like this is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, even when we flew over to Manchester for our first show, we because at the time we could actually only travel because that was during, like, we were technically out locked up, but you couldn't travel outside the country unless it was for like what's the word, work and stuff like that as well. So it's like 2 weeks before you could actually do like recreational travel. And our parents came to the airport and collected us and had balloons and stuff, and like even having that support, it's like it's amazing as well. And like our friends have been so supportive, and like everyone I know that I've come across has been so supportive of it. No one's ever been like, what the fuck are you doing that? Like, so and I think this is probably again a lot of why people might not do well in their goals, if they might not achieve fat loss that well, because their friends are like, oh come on, like you're coming out to the pub for a few drinks and stuff like that, or you know, it like, because you want to do something in fitness, if you want to achieve fat loss, it doesn't make you boring. So stop thinking that it is. Like you can still go out, but just not drink as much maybe what you used to or whatever, like trying to reduce the amount of time with it. But like unfortunately, again, because we're Irish, there's this huge stigma around, if you're going out for dinner, if you're going out on Saturday night with your friends, then you have to drink. And something that you and like Martin discussed in a recent podcast as well was that like alcohol is a drug that is normalized, and it's like your question about why you don't do it. Why don't you drink? So I get that question all the time. Like, and sometimes when I actually speak to people, I was like, because like one of the last times I had like a really big session was when I was in Australia, and I was traumatized after the next day. And that was actually the pivotal moment, because that was December 2019. And I remember I woke up the next day being like, it's not fucking worth it. I'm so unhappy. This is like, it was a complete just wake up call for me as well. Now I would have been a mad drinker, really. Like, yes, when I was in college and I was living in Dublin, and of course, like went wild. And when I went to Australia as well, it was like, drinking every Saturday night. But like, I was so fucking unhappy. Alcohol is a big thing that that unfortunately there's a stigma about, like, oh, why won't you have a drink? Oh, you will go on. It's like, do you want some cocaine? Oh yeah, come on, let's do it. Like, it's just like, why are we not talking about like people actually wanting to be a pioneer, people actually not wanting to drink? Unfortunately there's this stigma, if you will.
It's I think, remember I said, my Ash said to me, he's like, it's the only drug, essentially alcohol, that you have to explain why you're not doing it. Like if someone says on a night out, do you want a bag of whatever, and you say no, they don't say why. But if you walk into a pub and say, oh, are you drinking it, and you say no, like, why? Do you know what I mean? And I think you have to understand, people have to understand that, to put it this way, I think people have a bad relationship with it. I did. That's why I had to kind of cut it completely, because I was either, I'm not drinking, or I'm getting absolutely rallied. Do you get me? There was no in between. So I think for people like myself that were doing it a lot, it like that was that was making us so unhappy, or me so unhappy. And then when you find out something, when you find you're doing something you love, feeling better, feeling healthier, training, that becomes, I'm not going to say the alcohol was an addiction, but the feeling good part becomes an addiction. Do you get me? Like when you're like insecure and sad and not feeling great, alcohol does make you feel better. Like I'm not going to lie, on these sessions and all, I was on top of the world. I was fucking loving them. But then Monday came around and I'd feel shite for the week. And then Friday came and I'd do it all again. So then, you know, like if you think about it, it's just a vicious circle. Like unhappy, drink, get happy, get sad, do it all again the weekend. And yeah, I just think like you said there with the relationship thing, right? I think it's extremely common that some people have gone through it. If you're like a fitness, you can say fitness freak, and you're going out with someone that isn't, it can get messy. Like if you're going out with a partier and you don't party and you don't drink, it can get messy, and there's going to be a bit of a misunderstanding there.
Yeah, and it's a horrible situation for a lot of people.
Yeah,
I think, you know, and like us, what we want to talk about as well, like, you know, and this will go towards relationships, it'll go towards friends as well. Like, you know, if you were to look really right now, you as a listener, and look at your circle of friends, like, you most likely have the similar interests, and if you don't, and you feel like you are to connect to them in a different, or in the way that you'd like to, there's obviously a reason for it, and that you don't share the same values in life. You know, for example, for me and Stephen, we have the same values. That's why we get on so well. That's why we become friends. You know, similarly with me and Alexa, my sister, like we compete, and this is our passion, and that's why I want to like hang out with her all the time. Obviously, yes, she's my sister, but you know, like a lot of my friends, like they'll be interested in fitness to some extent. Like, it's obviously not many people that compete, that I'm friends with, but still, your environment is everything. And again, if you're living with someone as well, like, you know, like, again, like as you said, like if they're a part and you're not, it's going to create barriers. It's going to create conflict, if you will, as well. And similarly with friends. And I think people, I can imagine there's some people out there. I know there is. I just don't know who they are. But there's probably people who are in relationships or have people in their circles of friends where they're like, "Fuck, I actually really don't like you. Like, you're not what I want to surround myself with."
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people just don't realize that they have a choice. Like, you can unfriend people. I know it's hard to maybe sometimes do, but I'm like, you have a very short life here on earth. And this is going to sound really deep, but like, the very short time here on earth, why the fuck would you want to be miserable? Like, that, God, I love how we say we try not to curse, and then we do. But there's something I'm really passionate about. Like, I've always said this, like, one of the reasons why I got into coaching was to help people become happier. And it wasn't just like mentally, physically. I'm like, I want people to live a happier life, because we all deserve it.
Yeah.
Regardless of what you've done and what your previous crap you might have done previously, like, we all deserve to be happy. And like, if you're spending time being miserable and surrounding yourself with miserable people, you're probably going to wonder why you're feeling miserable all the time, because you're surrounding yourself in it. You were choosing to do that.
Yeah.
So, and it's a horrible thing. I know there's definitely people that do it, that are out there that are in those situations that they feel like they're just trapped. They're like, "Oh, we'll trap, say friends them, the friends them last 10 years." I'm like, yeah, but what about the next 30, 40 years of your life? You're still going to be miserable as well.
Yeah.
You have a choice.
And at the end of the day, like, without sounding harsh, no one gives a fuck about you or your goals.
100%.
Do you get me?
Yeah.
They might say to you, "You're shit crack." They're saying you're shit crack because they want you to get fucked up with them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like when you want to go out and not drink, and people are like, "Oh, you're shit crack." They're not actually saying, "Oh, you're really funny when you drink." They're just saying, "Oh no, you drink because we're getting fucked up drunk. You have to do with us." Do you know what I mean? But I got to a stage where, like, you're gonna have to get used to it, right? Because I'm just saying this happens to everyone, right? When you're go from A to fucking Z and you're dieting and training, you're gonna get the smart comments. Like, I go out and I get something, and someone like, "Oh, you allowed have that? Oh, how many calories are in that?" That kind of shit. And I I used to get wound up, and I'm just, but I just don't anymore, because it's just such standard procedures. Do you know what I mean? It's so cringy when you actually think about it. It's so fucking it's so, I'm not going to say the word, but it's, I can't explain it. Like I could be getting a sandwich somewhere, or I walk into a pub on a rare occasion and get a soup and sandwich or a lunch or something. Are you allowed to have that, mate? How many calories in that, buddy? Does your coach know you're eating that? Fuck off. Like, it's just, but yeah, again, you have to get used to it.
On the hips. That's another one.
Yeah. You have to get used to it. And I feel a lot of people go to change, but they get sucked back in by fear of letting other people down. Do you get me? I know so many people that are, I'm not gonna say miserable, but I know for a fact they're unhappy. They want to change, but they're like, oh no. I'm with this little group now, and if I leave these, I'll have no one. But that's what but at the end of the day, no one gives a shit about you or your goals. They only care about themselves. Yeah. So regardless of you staying with these lads or girls or whatever you're doing, they actually don't really care about you. They just want you to be on the same buzz as them. So if you're going to do that and just stay on that buzz forever, you're just going to get miserable and get older and be like, why didn't I change? You know what I mean?
A lot of it comes down to even people pleasing as well.
That's it. That's what I did for ages, though. That's what I did for ages. 100%. And it's not anyone else's fault but my own.
Yeah.
I would honestly be like, I'll be doing my first fucking transformation, you could call it, and I'm doing really well. And I get the text or I get something, you haven't been out in ages, fucking don't even know your face, don't know your face anymore. And I'd be like, bollocks, I better go out. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's like peer pressure.
Yeah.
It's a real thing. And again, it's not anyone's fault, but if you have a goal, you have to fucking have your actions aligned with it, regardless of what people are going to say.
Yeah. Exactly. I think, again, everyone's so scared about making a change because it's always like, oh, sure, what would they say? What would they think? Oh, I can't go to the gym, wearing that. What would people think? Or whatever. Yeah. Why the hell does it matter?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like I get like I go into the gym and I would wear my sports bra shorts, whatever. I don't give a flying fuck because I'm like, I'm living my life for me, not for somebody else. If someone else has a staring problem, that's their issue, not mine. If someone else is thinking something about me, that's them, not me. Yeah. I can do what I want because it's my body, it's my life, it's my choice. So why would I live a life being unhappy, trying to please someone else? And look, people pleasing is something I've done throughout most of my 20s, and it took me a while to actually realize that I was doing it.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, I have to wear this kind of clothes because that's what everyone else is wearing in my friend group, or I have to go out and like this kind of music because that's what all my friends are doing. Like, I did that for most of my life. Oh, I need to like this particular hobby because my boyfriend at the time used to like doing that, so I had to like it as well. Like, I did everything. Like, I remember changing my values.
Yeah.
Like, and that's just not like, I was wondering why I was miserable for most of my 20s, because I was doing that. I was like, I needed to feel accepted. And that's the thing, we always wait to feel accepted and like, oh no, it's the acceptance. And I'm like, but why can't you accept yourself? Why, like, everyone's looking for this gratification of other people. Why can't you do that for yourself?
Yeah.
No, it's again, it's another kind of pressure that we always just look for. Again, why do you stick up an Instagram post of you on a Saturday night? Because you want to get the likes. You want to get the comments, be like, oh, you look amazing, you look amazing.
Yeah,
It's like, go into the bar and tell yourself that. You don't need from anyone else. You don't.
Yeah.
You know?
And in terms of like, when you started out like doing your training and all that crack, did you say you weren't a big drinker?
Not really. Like, in college a little bit, like a few nights out a week, but like I wouldn't say like I was like on it every single weekend. No.
Yeah. And did you find over time that like you kind of lost touch or contact with people as you went a different route?
I think once I realized I need to stop people pleasing. Yeah. Like, there's a lot of people I lost in my 20s, 100%. Like, I'm like yourself, like I don't have many friends, and I'm bloody fine. Like, I'm very people that I do have in my life, or there's people that I may talk to like a few times a year, and that's all we need. But did I lose friends over fitness? It's a good question. I don't think I have, because I've been because I think the people that I've had, let's say for the last maybe like 4 or 5 years of my life, are people that like truly love me for who I am and are very much supportive of me as well. So and yeah, like I suppose like I was in Australia for 2 years as well, so I suppose like I've only a few friends from there that I keep in touch with as well. So but like I don't keep in contact, unfortunately, with anyone from college, anyone from school. If people always have these like school friends, and I'm like, I don't have any friends from school, college. All mine are from like previous jobs, or previous jobs, or so I haven't really, actually, to be totally honest, but have you lost many maybe friends or
Yeah, like I
partners?
wouldn't say lost friends, but like changed. Yeah, like shit started changing like when I started to fucking try and look after myself, because when you're in a with group of friends, and I was essentially the only one, in my opinion, that was I would have looked at myself as the unhealthiest one. Do you know what I mean? The one that needed to make a change where other people wouldn't. And I was the one that was fucking probably the most sad and insecure. So I needed to make a change. And when I stopped drinking and stopped going out as much, people notice it. Do you know what I mean? Now, it's not in a bad way, but I'm not going to say we lost friends, but I tell you what, if I bumped into them now or anything like that, it would be like, oh, how are you? Like, do you know what I mean? There's some people that it would be like I bumped into them. I never stopped chatting. And then others would be like, oh, how's things? How are you? Like, it's like, geez, this is kind of, it's like socially awkward. That's how I kind of got at the 30th that night. And these are all fucking bang on. Like, these people are sound. But like when you don't drink as much and when you don't go out as much, you're kind of out of the loop. You don't know what's going on. Do you know what I mean? And because these people hang around each other all the time. When I just rocked in, I haven't seen people in like a year and a half. And I was kind of on edge going in, but I shouldn't be, because I know all these people, and it's nothing to do with them. It's just me being completely like not out in the last however long it's been. And then I was just waiting for, like, at the start, it was fucking sound. We're all having the crack. And then as the drinks get flowing, like there's a bit of a silence, and someone just goes, why aren't you drinking, Tierney? And I was like, oh, fuck, here we go. And again, it's nothing to do. That's not anyone's fault. But you have to be prepared when you, like, because I tell all my clients, if you want to get in the best shape of your life, get fit, get healthy, you cannot continue to do what you're doing. And that is Friday night drinking, Saturday night eating shite, Saturday night drinking, Sunday eating shite, Sunday night eating shite, Monday rinse and repeat. Can you drink and eat some food you love? Of course you can. That's a different conversation for a different day. But if you're going through the same shit every weekend, drinking until you're binge drinking and binge eating, you are going to have to change environment. You're probably going to have to change group of friends. You're going to have to change what you're doing every weekend. And with that will come a complete change of scenes as a byproduct. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, like it's a tough one. And I just see so many people to this day that they're afraid to let go of the group of friends, or they're afraid to let go of the crack. You can still have the crack, but you have to have the fucking stones to go up and say, I'm not drinking tonight. I'll be here. I'm gonna have a bit of crack, but I don't need to get fucking rat-arsed.
But even as the thing as well, like, you know, again, kind of go back to like the whole peer pressure thing. It's like, yes, you can still go out. You may be able to have like a few drinks as well, but like, it's like, really ask yourself, do you want to do this? Like, yes, you can still, obviously, as you kind of said, you can achieve the results that you want and still maybe go out very seldomly, whatever. But like, when you're ordering a drink at the bar, ask yourself, do you actually want it? Or is it like, oh, I'm doing this because sure everyone else is having a drink? Like, ask yourself that situation, because I think, again, there's going to be some of those like environments where it's like, oh, Jesus Christ, sure everyone else is drinking, I have to have a drink, or oh, they're getting a bottle of wine, sure I have to have a glass, and stuff like that as well. So it's like, you can just say no. And I think people have a big problem with saying the word no.
Yeah.
Like, and this goes to every aspect. It's like whether it's alcohol, whether it's going out, or, you know, whatever, like, we just hate, again, there's probably the fear of, as you kind of mentioned before, is letting people down. But I'm like, you need to ask yourself, like, if you're going to do something, do you want to do it, or are you doing it for someone else? And if you don't want to do it, just say no. Like, you have the power, you have a voice, use it. I think that's a big thing for a lot of people, is people just don't say no. People are like, oh yeah, sure, grand, yeah, go on, we'll do it, or whatever. It's like, no.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tough one, and I'm not gonna lie, I did find it difficult transitioning out of that buzz, like, because it's all you know for years on end of being with the same people and doing the same crack every weekend. And I actually, there's a good few times that I actually did. I'd be doing really well, then I just stop and I go back to old ways, and then like, would you know when like you're trying to achieve a goal, and then one weekend and you fucking rally the arse off the weekend can turn into 3 or 4 weeks of nothing. Do you get me? It was just start, stop. And I remember we were actually at a session one night, and we were all doing mad shit. Like, and one of the lads actually said to me, just be yourself and do what you want. One of my closer mates said that to me. And after that, It just hit me.
Yeah.
Like he was actually slagging me for saying yes, for being a yes man, where I thought they'll respect me. Do you get me?
Yeah.
So I was like, oh no, I'll drink because the lads want me to, or this, that. And your man has pulled me aside and goes, just be yourself and do what you want. Like we don't care. So after that, I was like, when he said that hit home. And there was me chasing fucking gratification off people. Do you know what I mean? So if you cannot stand up for yourself and say, right, I'm not doing this, I need to change, you're forever be just people pleasing. And it's awful.
Yeah, it's ending up in this cycle of doing it, as I said as well. And I think, like, look, while we're recording this as well, or actually when this episode goes live, it's going to be a bank holiday Monday in Ireland. So a lot of people are going to have to fucking fear being like, oh Jesus, just because like of obviously the long weekend. And like I even knew actually, like, so even actually some of my clients, when I was doing check-ins this week, some of them actually forgot it was the long weekend, and I kind of mentioned it, and I was like, they were like, oh my God, I totally forgot. Then there were some people like, oh, I'm a bit nervous, long weekend, what am I going to do? And I'm like, why is it going to make a difference?
It's another day. Like, it's
literally just another day off. It doesn't mean, oh God, it's another day that I have to like restrict myself or, you know, binge whatever. I'm like, you're telling yourself that. If you're worried about a long weekend, that's something you need to work on. And it's not just like, oh God, sure, it's another day, what am I going to do? It's like, you're going to do what you do every other day. You're going to adhere to the goals. You know, your goals are not meant to be Monday to Friday. Like, you know, and as I always say to my clients, I was like, I'm not looking for 100% perfection each week. If it is, it's going to be short term. Actually, this is a lovely quote that I'm probably going to have to post after somewhere because I don't want people to see it, but I want to copyright it. Perfection is short term. Consistency is long term.
Nice.
I came up with that during the week during a client call as well.
Did you think of that?
I don't know, but I'm claiming it.
I'm going to claim it myself.
No, you won't. Guys, everyone, you heard me first say it. But it's true though. We'll do
play to me.
We'll do a double post. We'll do like one of those like collaboration posts on Instagram.
Yes.
We'll both claim it together. But like when I say to my clients, I was like, I don't want perfection every single week. I don't want a perfect check-in. I don't, because it's like you're not allowing yourself to grow and it's not going to be long term. I want consistency. So I'm like, if we're able to just do like what I look for in a client is like 85-90% consistency. If you're hitting your steps, meal prepping, focusing on sleep, blah blah blah, and then if you want to go out for brunch on Saturday with the girls, but you've the rest of Sunday or rest of that day planned, be it with getting your steps in, getting a session in, or whatever, I'm like, that's a life. That's actually having a life and achieving your goals. That's what it is in my eyes. Like, you know, like a lot of my clients don't go out every single week or whatever. They might just want to go out for dinner with their partner. And I'm like, yeah, please do that. I was like, you need that because it's what you need for your sanity. Like, again, people are like, some of my clients are like, obviously a photo shoot client is obviously going to be completely different. They're not going to have this, they're going to have the same goals as me, where it's like, no, this is like your ducks in a row every single day, regardless of what happens in your life. You just have to get it done. But I'm like, if you want to actually achieve a sustainable lifestyle, of course you need to go out and have that as well. But like, I always kind of advise people just be like, just try and be consistent over perfection as well. So like that with the long weekend, you should not feel guilty about a long weekend. You should not feel guilty about your birthday coming up in a few months' time. You should not feel guilty about a wedding you're attending and worrying, oh God, like, sure, what am I going to do? How am I going to plan this out? How am I going to eat? I'm like, you eat at the wedding. Yeah. What?
I think that all stems back from Jess. I think we said before, having a terrible experience and only knowing bank holiday weekend equals car crash, birthday equals car crash, wedding equals car crash, like 3 steps, 3 weeks fucking undone, whatever you want to call it. I think for someone that is coming to you saying that they've obviously gone through some shit with all this stuff, but once they're taught how to approach it by you, they won't worry about it again. I was the exact same working with Mike, and then he explained to me how to do it, and I was like, now I see bank holiday, I couldn't give a shite. You know what I mean? But another thing, just back to the environment thing, and I know it's so bleeding cliche, like about like surround yourself with people that are on the same buzz, but it's extremely, extremely important, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like you have to be around positive people. You have to be around positive conversations. And I don't care if this sounds cringy or like, I don't know what the word is, but if you're around dumbass conversations, you're going to get brought back to that level of being a fucking dumbass. The standard of conversations is going to be lower. And if you want to essentially grow up and start doing things for yourself, you have to be around people that are doing that also.
Yeah. Like you are what you surround yourself with. Like if people are going out constantly like 5-6 times a week, you're going to be that person and you're going to end up feeling exactly how they feel as well. But I suppose like a thing for a lot of people is obviously we talked about the fear of losing people, but I suppose like something that some people might experience is, well, where am I going to find these new friends?
In the gym.
Like, yeah, just go to the gym and make friends. Honestly, like I've made so many friends in the gym. Like you just never know. Like some people will see me and like will see how I train and stuff like that as well. And if you go to the gym the same similar times, you see the same people. Like there's a few actually guys in my gym that I would like to be friends with simply because I actually like how they train. Yeah. I will say this, I have a bit of a staring problem. I'm a people watcher. Like, and a lot of people are, so I'm not going to say that it's a bad thing because we all do it. But I like, obviously, because I am a qualified personal trainer, I like watching people train. I like seeing their technique and seeing if they, I've never actually gone up to someone and been like, oh, you actually need to change your form. It's blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't have the balls for that. But there's some guys in the gym, in my gym as well, particularly because it is a kind of a bodybuilding gym. There's like, it's my kind of people, mostly. And I've seen some people that are in there the same times that I am. And I'm like, I really should just go up and say hi. But again, I don't want them to feel like I'm hitting on them either. I'm just like, I really want to just be like, look, dude, I like how you train. I was like, how's things?
Yeah.
And I think like, again, it comes back down to realizing that we were able to make friends before social media, as adults, I think a lot of people are afraid to make new friends. And I'm like I just moved to London. I'm very open to making new friends, and I want to do things that, like, there's actually, I can't even go to it. I was going to say there's actually a book club event next week and I was going to go to it, but I'm actually probably going back in Ireland.
No way.
Like there's events that you can go to that, there's events that you can go to. There's, gyms or whatever. Like, and I think if anyone's worried about making friends, it's never too late. Like, I'm 29. Like, of course I'm going to maybe make new friends because I'm in a new city and stuff like that as well. And even through Instagram, like Stephen, I reached out to Stephen on Instagram. And now here we are with a podcast. Do you know?
Yeah.
So you just never know who
just reach out to people. Like I said to Marty on that podcast with Neve, if you look up to someone and you admire them and the way they work and the way they talk and the way they act and their vibes, fucking get on to them. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to go for a coffee? Like, what's the worst that can happen? Like, I didn't even know, Brian O'Loughlin, Movement 101. I didn't even know him like a few years ago. And then we organized a walk with a few of us and he went, and then next thing I was like, you want to be around that shit. Like, do you know what I mean? You want to be around the people that you lead a conversation and you're like, I could run through a wall. Do you know what I mean? And that's why even in the gym, like there's a few lads that would have been on the same boat as me that used to be acting the idiot on the weekend and just completely stopped, and now they just go to the gym. So that pub environment or that club environment is now an exercise environment. Do you know what I mean? Like, just because it's not in a pub doesn't mean you can't have the crack and meet up. People that go to the gym that don't really go out on the weekends, there's a place for that as well.
And Joe, was actually funny as well, actually say that, and something that I've actually never said to you. So guys, when I went back to Ireland in April, and I went up and met Stephen for the first time in real life, I went and met him at the gym. And I remember I walked in and actually there was a class going on as well, and like I remember meeting some of your staff as well. And
you met Mac Daddy.
Yeah, I met Mac Daddy. I think he was a bit shocked that I walked in.
He fancies you. Why are you going red?
He's actually gonna die when he hears that.
He's gonna hate me today.
Oh my god, he's gonna.
Okay. But yeah. You met Macca, yeah.
Yeah, I met Mac and I met Martin, and even like as just to kind of reiterate the whole environment. Like, it felt as if they knew me for years. Like, when Martin was even talking to me, I was like, shit, I feel like even like you as well, I feel like we've been best friends for years. Do you know, it's amazing once you're in an environment where there is a like-minded thing, or else like people who want to support you in any way. Like you and Martin completely took me under your wing, and like I just felt nothing but support. And it's like, yeah, that's shit. Like, I want to be around that all the time. Like, once people actually like, there's a respect mutually, there's trust. There's just like, you feel good when you're around them. You're like, fuck, this is amazing energy. Like, that's what I want to feel. Once you find that, you will never want to let it go.
Yeah.
And I suppose it's realizing that like with what the environment that you've created for your own, like, team as well, like all your members and stuff like that as well. Like, obviously that's the great thing about semi-private training is that like you have a class there, you're all in the same buzz, you're all, just trying to like have a good 45 minutes or an hour session, and like you can't put a price on that kind of happiness. And it's when you find your people, regardless of how late and like that might be. You might find people in your 40s or 50s. Don't be worried, oh fuck, I'm 24 and like I'm never going to find all these friends. You will, but you need to go find them. They're not going to come and find you. It's like waiting for the perfect job or the perfect time to reach out for a coach. There's never going to be a perfect time. You need to make a choice right now when you're listening to be like, right, what the hell do I want? Do I want to hire a coach? Do I want to take action on my fitness goals? If it is, you need to stop waiting. Oh, should I wait until Monday? Oh, I don't know if I should DM them. DM them. If it's either of us, always know that for both of us, our DMs are always open, regardless of what day or time of the month it is. Obviously, just if it's 3 a.m. on Saturday, most likely.
Don't be fucking messing me on Saturday night.
Yeah, don't do it. You end up getting like this weird like voice message, be like,
in the pub.
Like, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
No, do you want to come down? But like, reach out to people. Do not be afraid. Like, like it's just as I said, there's life before social media. Like you were able to meet people. You were able to go out to a bar and have a guy approach you for any like people that are out there. Like, like guys used to do that, and I think they still do. Like I got approached in the street there. I think it was last week, the week before, a guy actually stopped me on the street and asked me out, and I was like,
was it Mac Daddy?
He is actually going to kill you.
He won't. He's delighted he will for the show.
Oh my god. But like, just stop being afraid. Like, you need to start living your life for you, and again, surround yourself with the people that support you, that love you, and that want the best for you as well.
No, you know what? You made such a good point there about the gym. Like, I'm not just saying about my gym. Obviously, I'm going to be extremely biased, but our clients, when we do like say feedback forms or just like critique us, or there's anything that you want to tell us, it could be like, what do you love about the gym? And every single person says the environment.
Yeah.
And they just said they love coming in, love talking to the coaches, love talking to the trainers. And when, like you said, when you find that as a person, it's addictive and you want to be around it. But if you're around you need to get to group fucking Z, like you said, you have to take action. Because it won't come to you. You have to go, fuck this, I need to make it. If you need to make a change, you have to be willing to step up and make the change. Because I did it, and it's the best thing I ever did. And at the same time, I'm not like ever going to diss drinking around, because like I say to you all the time, I miss all that crap. It was the best days of my lives. It was so much fun. But it was just a fucking dead end. I wouldn't be running an okay gym if I was still doing that. Do you know what I mean? You have to take action. You have to be afraid to have a few different conversations. You have to be afraid to lose a few quote unquote friends. You have to be afraid not to be afraid of fucking getting slagged, getting jeered, getting all this crack as well. And if you're really like believing yourself in that much and know you're going to get to a certain place, you won't actually give a shit.
Yeah. Something I'm actually going to look up just while I think of it, right? So there's 168 hours in a week.
Yeah.
And we're going out on Saturday night. That's what, 6 hours? So what are you going to do for that 162 hours? Are you going to be miserable, or are you going to make a change? That's what I would ask people. It's like, like look at how much time that you have in your life. And if you're like living for the weekend and living for Saturday, like why the hell would you be miserable 6.5 days a week? You know? And as you said, it's amazing. And you said you have the best time of your life and stuff like that as well. But you need to look at, you can still have a good 6 hours a week. But like, what about the 160 odd hours?
Yeah.
You just got to just wake up and be like, fuck, it's Monday. Like, I have to get up now, put on the suit and, go into that job for 8 hours, then come home and eat, and sure, have no time to do that, no time to do this. I'm like, yeah, you probably have no time because you're not actually trying to be proactive and be like, oh, do you know what? I'm actually going to go to the gym this evening. Oh, I'm actually going to meal prep. Oh, I'm actually going to like go for a walk or whatever. It's like, look at how you're spending your time right now. And I'm not going to say, well, we all have time. Like, I very much understand everyone has different responsibilities, and I don't want to blanket it. However, to an extent, we do have the same amount of time. Obviously, responsibilities. Like, I would have different responsibility to a mother of 3. Like I'm not going to say like we have the same amount of time or whatever. But yeah, look at how you're valuing your time right now. Is what I would kind of say as well.
Yeah, no, as in like how much time are you, especially if you're wanting to make a change. Do you know what I mean? But no, I like the way you said that, and especially when you said the first day that we met, I didn't know who you were. You didn't know who I was. You didn't know who Martin was. Martin didn't know who you were. And next thing, we're inside having a fucking heart-to-heart about business and anxiety and panic attacks. And that's when you know. That's when you know that, like, this is the conversation I want to be around, because there shouldn't be awkwardness. There shouldn't be any shyness. There shouldn't be anything, because you just click. And again, it's so cringy, but it's the same fucking energy. And you're like, yeah, this is what I want to be around.
Yeah.
And until you make the change and get out of your comfort zone and stop fucking people please and say yes to everything when you don't want to, you will not witness it.
Yeah. And I suppose, like, what I want people to kind of really take away from this podcast is obviously everything that we discussed, but also, like, you know, some of you might be listening right now and feel like inspired, like, oh my God, yeah, I'm going to take action. Don't wait until Monday. Just do whatever you're listening to it. Just do something today that's going to bring you towards where you would want to be, or the person that you want to become. And as I said, perfection is short-term, consistency is long-term. So even if you are planning to, like, I'm going to start to join a gym, it doesn't matter if you don't go like 5 days, like, you know, you go 5 days here and 3 days there, whatever. Stay consistent, try and go as often as you can if it's going to make you feel good. Like, again, once you start, you probably don't want to stop. Obviously, as I said, if you feel like you're getting addicted to exercise, please listen to our previous podcast on training, because that's where we don't want you to end up. Yeah. But, like, you know, you and again, it's probably down to the energy that you attract. You get what you put out. So if you're putting out energy where you're like, I want to be happier, you're gonna attract your tribe. That's what it is. So your
vibe attracts your tribe.
Oh, love it.
Yeah, oh, your vibe attracts your tribe. Just something else. Yes. Now, although we said you might have to change what you're doing every weekend, look at what you're doing, look at what you're putting your time into, that does not mean at all that you have to stop drinking.
Yes.
That you have to stop eating the favorite foods. But if you're doing it, I think I read, was it Friday, Saturday, Sunday is 42% of your week. If you're doing that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you're not going to see results. You're not going to see progress. So again, you don't have to completely stop drinking, like I said, like I did basically, but I was a bit of a whatever. I didn't know the in between. I didn't know going for a couple of drinks. Do you know what I mean? You don't have to completely stop. You don't have to stop eating the food you like, but you have to manage it better. You have to measure it better in order to see progress. Something shit will have to change.
Yeah. Yeah, no, 100%. And as I said, like, that's why I encourage with my clients. Like, I would ask them, look, did you go out for a meal this week, or did you have a few drinks? Like, I'm not looking to be like, oh my God, you went out for a few drinks. Why did you do that? I'm like, yeah. I value it. And I'm like, no, I want you to be able to go out. Like, don't feel like you can't go out with your partner or go out with your friends. If you want to go out for brunch, like, go out for brunch. But I also want you to think about how you're going to spend the rest of your day.
Yes.
Or what you're maybe going to do tomorrow. Are you going to write tomorrow off? No, you're not going to write tomorrow off. You're going to do exactly what you would do a normal day anyway. So it's just, again, I don't want to say it's balanced, but it is, to an extent, everything in moderation. But again, look at how you're spending your weekends. And like, if you're automatically like Friday, 5 p.m, switching off, oh my God, don't need to do anything now for the weekend. I can just do what the fuck I want. And then you repeat everything on Monday. Like, that's probably why you're not seeing results, because your mindset's been switched off.
Yeah.
In Friday at 5 o'clock. So you're like, after work pints. It's like,
oh, sure, Jess. I was the same. I used to work, when I was working in Dunn stores, I did the Friday shift 10 to 6, and I swear to God, at 5 to 6 every Friday, liter of vodka in my hand up to the till, and I knew that was it now, and I'd come back to work on Monday.
Yeah,
that's the kind of stuff.
That's the habit you built. It was the association, because again, it's the habits that we have. You have the habit. It was 5 to 6. Your brain was like, yeah, vodka. Went to the till. It was like clockwork. You didn't have to worry about it. And that's why we could put all habits.
That's what has to change when it's that bad. Yeah. That's what has to change. But it's different extremes, obviously. But that's I think that's it. Anything else you want to add? If you want to say something before we leave, I'm going to think of something. I think I wanted to say something, but I forget again.
Do you want to say something? I have to say, what I'm going to say is I really enjoyed this episode. I actually really enjoyed recording it. That's what I want to say.
We say that and you know what? I'd love to chat for longer, but we always say we want to cap it at 45 minutes in case
we go over in time and stuff.
Yeah. But would you let the guys know the plan of action now for Monday the 13th?
What we're doing?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Where we're going.
Yeah, we're recording, thankfully, more in-person episodes. So I'm coming back to Ireland. We're recording 2 episodes. So this episode, if you might be listening, it'll be out on the Monday, the 6th of June. And then we're recording episodes for the 20th of June and the 4th of July. So as you guys know, we upload a new episode every fortnight at the moment currently, but we may decide to do weekly, depending on if you guys, share on your stories, tag us, message us, and let us know if you enjoyed an episode. Like always, please just know that this is like, our child in a way. It is growing, so all the support means a lot as well. So please give us any feedback as well, or even ideas for future episodes as well, because obviously we've talked about such different topics, and obviously like there's nothing that's pretty much off the cards. That's why we call it Zero BS. So, there's no BS here as well. We're upfront and honest as well. So, any feedback as always would mean a lot as well. So again, share it on your stories, tell your friends, because I suppose like we want to try and help people as much as we can.
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, we've so much, we haven't even got going yet, I don't think, and we're having some fun with it, but we're going to double down on it soon enough. We might get into a stage of telling a few stories, different kind of styles, from past experiences that will give a few lols. But so we're recording in the studio. We need to get pictures and videos, some fucking content.
Oh, I know. Jesus, like our Instagram is so pathetic. Like, Jesus,
yeah, it's embarrassing. Everyone starts somewhere. Do you know what I mean?
We all start somewhere. I think we need to bear in mind that we're doing this remotely as well. It's not as if like, oh yeah, sure, we're down the road from each other. It's like we're trying to do what we can, but we hopefully that this whole channel will take off as well.
It will, and I have the same energy and buzz I do now than we did in the first one. Do you know what I mean? And that's important. Yeah. We keep that going. But anyway, for now, that is it. We hope you enjoyed today's episode on setting your goals and your environment, etc. We have to think of a heading for it, obviously. And then our next episode will be live from the studio in a week. Yeah, a week or so. But we're not going to tell you what we're going to be doing, but we're going to have a guest or two, maybe some more juicy, honest episodes coming up. But for now, thank you very much for listening. As always, that's all from me and Jess.
Yep. Thank you so much, guys. And we'll see you all in the next episode.